Master Course, AI Characters and Camera Angles. Welcome to the Master Course on Mastering Consistent AI Characters and Camera Angles. In this course, we will move beyond the what and focus entirely on the how, the practical workflows, best practices, and repeatable techniques you need to gain absolute control over your AI generations. We will assume you understand the basics of AI image generation and are ready to build concrete professional skills. Let's begin.
Module 1. The Core Workflow for Character Consistency. In this first module, we will establish the foundational practical workflow for achieving reliable character consistency in nano-banana. We'll move beyond theory and focus on the two pillars of control: strategic base image selection, and precision prompting. Lesson 1.1. Locking the character. The base image as your anchor. You've likely experienced the core frustration of most AI image tools. You create a perfect character, but in the very next image, their face changes, their hair is different, or their outfit morphs. nano-banana's workflow is built to solve this, but it requires a specific methodology. The key isn't just a good prompt, it's establishing a powerful visual anchor with a master base image. This lesson teaches you how to forge that anchor. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to select the optimal base image type, whether it's a medium, three-quarter, or full body shot, to intentionally prioritize and lock specific character traits for a multi-image sequence. We will analyze the consistency trade-offs between different shot types and establish a decision-making framework for choosing the right base image for your project's specific needs. Your base image is the source of truth for your character. nano-banana will continuously refer back to this image to maintain consistency. Your choice of shot for this base image is the most important decision you will make. You must understand the consistency hierarchy. Not all details are treated equally by the AI. In order of importance, the hierarchy is, first, facial features, second, clothing, and third, background elements. Facial features have the highest priority for consistency, followed by clothing, and finally, background elements. Your base image choice dictates how much weight nano-banana gives to each of these. Let's explore the trade-offs. First, the medium shot, or waist up. We call this the facial lock. It's best for projects where the character's facial expression, identity, and upper body clothing are paramount. This gives the AI the most facial data to work with, resulting in maximum consistency in the character's face across all subsequent images. The trade-off? You sacrifice control over the character's lower body. The AI will have to improvise their pants and shoes, which may change between shots. You'd use this for a character dialogue scene or a professional headshot series. Next is the full body shot, which we call the wardrobe lock. This is best for action scenes, fashion showcases, or any sequence where the full outfit and character pose are essential. It locks the entire look from head to toe. The trade-off here is that the character's face will occupy a smaller portion of the image. While nano-banana is good, you may see a slight reduction in facial consistency compared to a medium shot. The details are simply smaller and harder to lock perfectly. And finally, the three-quarter shot, or knees up, known as the balanced approach. It's a flexible middle ground that provides strong facial data while also locking most of the character's outfit. It is, however, a compromise. You get better facial consistency than a full body shot, but less than a medium shot. You get more outfit consistency than a medium shot, but less than a full body shot. This is a great general purpose choice. To really solidify this concept, here's a scenario to consider. You are tasked with creating a 3-image storyboard for a client. The character is a private detective in a noir film. The client's one mandatory requirement is that her cynical, world-weary facial expression must be identical in every shot. The scenes are leaning against a rainy window, looking at a clue, and talking to a client. The key here is the client's demand for identical facial expressions. This tells you that facial consistency is the absolute priority. Therefore, the correct choice is to first create a medium shot as your anchor. This shot maximizes the facial data for the AI, ensuring that world-weary expression remains locked across all subsequent images, even at the cost of improvising her lower body. So, to check our understanding, let's clarify the consistency trade-off. When choosing between a medium shot and a full body shot as your base image, which elements are prioritized and which are sacrificed? The answer is clear. A medium shot prioritizes and locks the character's facial features with the highest possible consistency, but it sacrifices control over their lower body. Conversely, a full body shot prioritizes and locks the entire outfit and pose from head to toe, but sacrifices the level of detail and guaranteed consistency in the character's face as it occupies a much smaller part of the image.
Lesson 1.2, Precision Prompting for Scene Manipulation. You have your anchor, a perfect base image that has locked your character's identity. But now what? The goal is to place your consistent character into new scenes, new poses, and new situations. This is done through precision prompting, where you learn to modify the environment without corrupting the character data. In this lesson, you will learn to construct prompts that modify a character's action, location, or the scene's mood while preserving the core consistency established by the base image. We'll cover the core components of a modification prompt, focusing on how to tell nano-banana what to change while implicitly telling it what to keep. Once you've supplied your base image, your next prompts are instructions for modification. Think of it like giving directions to a puppet master who already has the puppet. You just need to tell them where to move it. The anatomy of a successful modification prompt is simple but crucial. It consists of the character reference, plus the new action or pose, plus the new scene or background, and finally, any atmosphere or style modifiers to fine-tune the mood. First, always keep the core character reference in the prompt. If your base was a grizzled space marine with a scar, your new prompt should still contain grizzled space marine. Next, add the new action or pose. Be direct, sitting at a console, running through a jungle. Then, add the new scene or background, like on the bridge of a starship or in a war-torn city. Finally, add any atmosphere or style modifiers to fine-tune the mood: cinematic lighting, raining, dramatic shadows. The most common mistake is to write a completely new, overly descriptive prompt that confuses the AI. You must follow the principle of minimal change. For example, if your base image is a grizzled space marine, a high-risk prompt would be a sad, tired, lonely soldier of fortune sitting in a bar. This adds too many new and conflicting character details. A correct, high-consistency prompt would be a grizzled space marine sitting at a bar, dimly lit, cinematic. This prompt keeps the character anchor and only changes their action and location. This is a great one to try yourself. Let's say your base image is a medium shot of a cheerful female wizard with bright blue robes and a pointed hat, smiling. Here are 3 modification prompts you'll want to run to place her in new scenarios. For casting a spell in a dark forest, your prompt would be a cheerful female wizard with bright blue robes casting a spell in a dark forest glowing particles. For reading a large book in a library, your prompt would be a cheerful female wizard with bright blue robes reading a large book in a sunlit library. And for peeking over a stone wall, your prompt would be, a cheerful female wizard with bright blue robes peeking over a stone wall. When you run these, you'll see how the prompts preserve the character's core identity while successfully changing the context. To wrap up this module, let's consider this. Your base image is a full-body shot of an elegant secret agent in a black tuxedo. You need to generate a new image of him walking through a crowded, luxurious casino. What is the optimized modification prompt? The ideal prompt would be an elegant secret agent in a black tuxedo walking through a crowded, luxurious casino, cinematic lighting. What this reveals is the importance of what was excluded. Descriptive words about his mood like looking nervous or a confident spy were intentionally left out to avoid corrupting the locked character data from the base image. The prompt focuses only on the new action and location. You have now mastered the fundamental workflow for character consistency. You understand how to choose the right anchor image and how to manipulate scenes with precision prompting.
Module 2. Crafting diverse camera angles with AI. Now that your character is locked, you need to direct them. This module provides the practical techniques for forcing the AI to change the camera angle on command, moving from a static portrait to a dynamic scene.
Lesson 2.1. The Director's Intent. Why Keywords Fail. You've likely tried prompting with terms like low-angle shot and gotten inconsistent, often bizarre results. Why? Because you're giving the AI a technical term, not a visual description. An AI doesn't know what a low angle is in a filmmaking context. It only knows what images tagged with those words look like. To get reliable results, you must describe the shot as if you were telling a human artist exactly where to stand. In this lesson, we will differentiate between a keyword prompt and a descriptive prompt for camera angles, and you'll be able to articulate why the descriptive method yields more consistent results. The key to controlling the camera is to stop thinking like a prompter and start thinking like a film director. Keyword prompting is the wrong way. Words like low angle or close up are shorthand. The AI's training data for low angle is a chaotic mix of worm's eye views, shots from the hip, and slightly tilted portraits. By using the keyword, you are asking the AI to pick one of these interpretations at random. You lose control. The right way is descriptive prompting. You explicitly describe the camera's physical location and what it is looking at. For example, instead of low-angle shot of a soldier, you should use view from the ground looking up at a towering soldier. This gives the AI unambiguous instructions. View from the ground establishes the position. Looking up at a towering soldier establishes the direction. There is no room for misinterpretation. The core formula is simple. It consists of three parts: the vantage point, plus the direction of gaze, plus the subject and scene. Your prompt needs a vantage point, like shot from below, a direction of gaze, like looking up at, and your subject and scene, such as a giant robot in a city. This is a great one to try yourself. I encourage you to take these three vague, keyword-based prompts and rewrite them using our descriptive formula. The prompts are, first, over-the-shoulder shot, second, high-angle shot, and third, side profile shot. When you rewrite them, your new prompts will be far more powerful. For over-the-shoulder shot, it becomes, camera is positioned behind the character's shoulder, looking at what they see. For high-angle shot, it's view from above, looking down on the character. And for side profile shot, it becomes shot from the side, capturing the character's complete profile. Now, consider a common problem. A colleague is frustrated because their prompt, close-up of my character, sometimes gives an extreme close-up of an eye, and other times a portrait from the shoulders up. How would you explain the solution? The solution lies in descriptive prompting. The keyword close-up is ambiguous. To get a consistent result, they must describe the camera's framing precisely.
The ideal prompt would be a portrait of the character from the shoulders up, filling the frame. This is a direct, physical description of the desired composition, leaving no room for the AI to guess.
Lesson 2.2, a practical dictionary of cinematic shots. Theory is great, but you need results now. This lesson is a practical, repeatable cheat sheet. We will take the most common camera shots and provide the exact descriptive prompts needed to reliably generate them. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to construct effective prompts to generate 7 distinct camera angles. This will become a toolkit you can use immediately. Let's go through them. The low angle shows power. Instead of low-angle shot, you'll use shot from ground level looking up at a towering character. The high angle shows vulnerability. Instead of high-angle shot, you'll use view from above looking down on character in the scene. The over-the-shoulder shot shows perspective. You'll use camera is positioned just behind the shoulder of one character, focusing on main character in front of them. The extreme wide shot shows scale. Vast landscape, a tiny figure of character, is visible in the distance. The extreme close-up shows emotion. An intense close-up focusing only on the eyes of character. The Dutch angle shows unease. The camera is tilted on its axis, creating a disorienting view of character. The point of view shot. Point of view shot from the character's eyes, looking at what they see, only their hands are visible in the frame. To really solidify this, here's the scan you'll want to run. You're creating a sequence where your brave knight confronts a dragon. Write 3 prompts for 3 distinct shots. When you do this, you'll see the power of descriptive language. First, to emphasize the knight's vulnerability, you'd use a high angle. View from above, looking down on the brave knight as he faces the immense dragon. Second, to show his determination, an extreme close-up. An intense close-up focusing only on the eyes of the brave knight. And third, to make him look heroic as he charges forward, a low angle. Shot from ground level, looking up at the towering heroic knight as he charges forward. To conclude this lesson, imagine you need to create a shot that feels tense and unstable, as if the world is off balance. Which shot would you use for your anxious detective? The correct shot is the Dutch angle. The perfect prompt construction would be, the camera is tilted on its axis, creating a disorienting view of an anxious detective in a cluttered office. Module 3. From still to motion. Animating your character using AI video models and motion-centric prompting. Lesson 3.1. The art of subtle motion. The world of AI video generation has one major rule. It works best with limitation. Attempting to generate a complex, high-action scene from a single image will often result in distorted, wobbly chaos. The key to professional-looking AI video is to think like an animator. Start with a strong keyframe, your still image, and add subtle, controlled motion. Your goal in this lesson is to learn how to formulate a motion prompt that applies a simple, controlled movement to a static character image, adding life without breaking the consistency you've worked so hard to achieve. Before you make your character walk, run, or jump, first make them breathe. This is the living portrait principle. The most believable AI video starts with subtle, ambient motion. For character motion, think of things like gently breathing, eyes blinking, or hair blowing in the wind. You can also use environmental motion, such as rain falling softly, snow drifting down, or steam rising from a cup. When using an image-to-video platform, your prompt should complement your source image using a simple formula of existing character plus a subtle action verb plus any environmental motion. For example, with a source image of a grizzled space marine, your motion prompt would be, the grizzled space marine takes a slow, steady breath, his eyes blinking once. Steam rises from a vent behind him. This works because it adds life without demanding the AI reinterpret the entire character. It's a small modification, which AI video models are best at. I encourage you to run this next command yourself. Take a static image of a serene monk meditating in a temple. Here are 2 motion prompts you can apply. For a very subtle living portrait effect, you would prompt, "The serene monk is breathing slowly and deeply, his eyes closed." For a more dynamic environmental effect, you could prompt, "The serene monk meditates as dust motes dance in a sunbeam falling across him." The output should clearly show you 2 different but equally effective ways to bring a still image to life. So let's review the subtle realism principle. Why is a prompt like "character is breathing, wind in hair" more likely to produce a high-quality AI video than "character dodges a laser blast and does a backflip"? The answer is that current AI video models excel at adding small, controlled movements to a static image. A prompt for breathing and wind only requires minor, localized pixel changes, which preserves consistency. A prompt for a backflip requires the AI to invent complex physics and anatomy from scratch, which is highly likely to result in distortion, warping, and a complete loss of character identity.
Lesson 3.2: Prompting the camera itself. Animating the character is only half of the equation. True cinematic motion comes from moving the camera. Just as we learned to describe the camera's static position, we must now learn to describe its path of movement. This is how you create zooms, pans, dollies, and crane shots. In this lesson, we'll provide a practical dictionary of prompts designed to command the camera's motion, allowing you to add professional dynamism to your animated scenes. Think of the camera as another character in your scene that you can direct with action verbs. The zoom creates focus and drama. Don't just use zoom in, be descriptive. A slow, steady zoom in on the character's face. The pan reveals a scene, follows action. Instead of pan right, describe the entire action. The camera slowly pans from left to right, revealing the cityscape behind the character. The dolly moves into a scene, creates parallax. Be specific about the path. The camera dollies forward smoothly, moving past the pillars towards the character. The tilt reveals height and verticality. Describe the start and end points. The camera starts on the character's boots and slowly tilts up to reveal their face. The crane or jib shot, grand, sweeping movements. Describe the full motion. The camera starts at eye level with the character and then smoothly rises high into the air, revealing the entire army behind them. This is a great one to try yourself. Your static image shows a character standing at the edge of a cliff, looking out over a vast valley. Here's how you can create 2 very different feelings. To create a sense of dramatic discovery and reveal the valley scale, your prompt would be a crane shot. The camera starts behind the character and rises up high, revealing the vast valley below. To create a feeling of vertigo and danger, you'd use a tilt. The camera starts on the character's face and slowly tilts down, looking straight over the cliff edge into the deep abyss. To conclude, what is the functional difference between a zoom and a dolly in a motion prompt? The difference is crucial. A zoom simply changes the focal length of the lens, magnifying the image, as in a slow zoom in on the character's eyes. A dolly, however, physically moves the entire camera forward through space, which creates parallax and a true sense of depth, as in the camera dollies forward through the forest towards the character.
Module 4: Advanced Storytelling and Workflow Integration. You now have the technical skills. This final module elevates you from a technician to a director. Here, we integrate character, camera, and motion into a cohesive workflow, focusing on how to use these tools to tell a compelling story.
Lesson 4.1: Narrative Cinematography. Angles that tell a story. A low angle isn't just a camera position. It's a statement about power. A Dutch angle isn't just tilted. It's a window into a character's fractured mind. So far, we've focused on the how. Now we focus on the why. This lesson connects specific camera angles and movements to the emotional and psychological impact they have on the audience. Our objective is to match specific camera angles and movements to their intended narrative effect. We will analyze the classic emotional language of cinematography to deepen your story's impact. Every shot you choose should serve the story. To convey power and status, a low angle makes a subject seem dominant or heroic. A high angle makes them seem weak or vulnerable. And an eye-level shot creates a neutral connection and empathy. To convey intimacy and emotion, an extreme close-up forces the audience into the character's personal space, highlighting intense emotion. A slow dolly-in gradually increases tension and pulls the audience deeper into the character's mindset. And for discomfort and action, the Dutch angle creates a feeling of unease or psychological distress. A shaky or handheld camera simulates urgency, chaos, and realism. To really solidify this concept, here's a story you'll want to craft. Tell a simple 3-shot story. A hero confronts a villain and the hero wins. How would you use angles to convey this power shift? The narrative cinematography would look like this. Shot 1. Shot from a low angle looking up at the towering, intimidating villain. This establishes the villain's dominance. Shot 2. An eye-level shot of the hero and villain locked in conflict, showing they are on equal footing during the fight. Shot 3. Shot from a low angle looking up at the triumphant hero standing over the defeated villain, signifying the complete shift in power. Now for our final check on this topic. You want to introduce a character and immediately make the audience feel sorry for them and understand they are in a desperate situation. Which camera angle and movement would be most effective and why? The most effective choice would be a high-angle shot combined with a slow dolly-in. The high angle would make the character look vulnerable and small. The slow dolly-in would gradually increase the emotional focus, drawing the audience directly into their plight and emphasizing their desperation.
Lesson 4.2. The assembly line, building a full scene. We have all the individual pieces, a consistent character, a dictionary of camera angles, and the ability to add motion. Now, we assemble them. This final lesson provides a strategic, step-by-step workflow for producing a complete, multi-shot narrative scene. Our objective is to outline the complete 5-step workflow for producing a multi-shot scene, treating AI generation as a structured assembly line that ensures quality and consistency from start to finish. The anchor image. Here, you create the perfect canonical base image of your character, choosing the shot type that best serves your scene. This is your source of truth. The storyboard. Using your anchor image, you'll generate all the key static shots for your scene, your wides, close-ups, and angles. This is your visual blueprint. The animation pass. Now, take each static image from your storyboard and bring it to life with the subtle character and camera motion prompts we've learned. The culling. Review your generated clips. Be ruthless. Discard any with glitches or distortions. Go back and re-prompt if you need to. Your goal is to curate a collection of only the highest quality shots. The sequence. Import your curated clips into a video editor and place them in the correct narrative order to assemble your final cohesive scene. Here's how this would look in practice. I encourage you to outline this workflow for a scene titled, "A Detective Finds a Crucial Clue." When you map it out, the process becomes clear. Step 1. Create a medium shot base image of a detective in a trench coat. Step 2. Generate a storyboard with a wide shot of the office, a close-up of his face, and an over-the-shoulder shot of the clue. Step 3. Animate each of these shots, adding a slow zoom to the clue, a slight look of surprise on his face, etc. Step 4. Discard any glitchy animations. Step 5. Assemble the 3 high-quality clips in order in an editor to tell the story in order. Finally, why is it more effective to generate a static storyboard of images before attempting to animate them? The reason is quality control. Generating a static storyboard first allows you to lock in the character's appearance and the scene's composition with a powerful and consistent image model. By separating the process, you ensure the character is 100% consistent across all your key shots before you add motion, which is the step most likely to introduce errors. It isolates the variables, giving you a far more professional result.
You have now completed the master course. You began by learning the foundational workflow for locking a character's identity. You then mastered the art of directing the camera, moving beyond simple keywords to use the descriptive language of a true cinematographer. From there, you bridge the gap to motion, learning to animate both your character and your camera to create living, breathing scenes. And finally, you integrated these skills into a complete narrative-driven workflow. You are no longer just an AI prompter, you are an AI filmmaker. The tools will continue to evolve, but the principles of storytelling and cinematic language you have mastered here are timeless. Continue to experiment, push the boundaries, and tell your stories.